Hi, I'm Dana, and well, I'll start by putting my phone on silent like I'm in the cinema, and then I'll explain how today you're making me watch a bagel, because, not because I can't be bothered, bear in mind, I have actually just sat down and filmed a proper video for today, but it's not gonna be for today, because you see, this thing's happening. I'll sort the plastic first. See, even now I'm trying to like skirt around it. Ugh! This thing's been happening where... Sorry, I need to check that these actually are vegan. They feel too nice to be vegan. No, they are, they're good. I filmed a proper video today about how it was to move out from living with my abusive ex and the things that he did while I was trying to move out. And I'm still physically shaking from it. Now, it's the exact type of content that I've made previously. It's a very typical type of content that I make on my little channel here. But the thing is, for most of my life, I have bad things happen sometimes, and then the next bad thing starts happening, so you just put the last bad thing into a little bag and deal with the next fucking bad thing. And as such, I don't think that I've actually processed anything that's ever happened to me. And as such, nowadays, when I'm making videos about the trauma that I've been through, because I can call it that now, instead of having to be like, when a bad thing happens, when I talk about the trauma that I've been through, I can feel it now. I've done enough work on my fucking nervous system, I'm far enough from the situation, I don't know, whatever it is, I talk about the trauma that I've been through, and it's not something I can be like tee-hee about anymore. It's not something that I find remotely funny, and it's not that I ever found these things to be like funny things that have happened, you know, but I could see like some level of like irony in them. I could laugh because like the other person's being so crazy. I could, you know, like find some level of humour in it, and there's a point to which I still can, because I'd like to think I'm just that type of person, but there is also just a massive level to which I would talk about it and I was able to be like tee-hee ha-ha about it because I felt so disconnected from it. Like, a lot of my memories and a lot of like my perceptions of my own past, I see in third person. I'm watching myself do the thing. I'm watching myself like sit on the couch while my ex is screaming in my face. I'm watching myself be sat in the car while my mum's having a go at me. Like, I don't remember it as though I'm the person that experienced it. I very much remember it as though like I watched it happen, because I just think that I'm so disconnected from the things that have happened to me. I think that I've likely had to do that as a bit of a coping mechanism, and fair dues. But I'm increasingly having memories come back to me in what I can only describe as flashbacks. I don't feel like I've ever had like actual flashbacks before. And some people have tried to convince me that I have, because things will like pop into my head or whatever. I think there's a very big difference between being triggered to remember something versus having something be a flashback. But it is at the point where I'm having memories triggered that make me feel like it's happening, you know. It's not just a, oh yeah, I remember that sucked. It's I'm physically shaking. I feel like I need to regulate in the same way that I did after that situation had actually happened. Like, in remembering that this thing went on, I feel like I've just experienced it again. And like, that feels a bit dramatic, because it's not... No, it kind of... I don't think it does feel dramatic, actually. I think that I've just been told that a lot of my emotions and feelings are dramatic through my life, and sometimes that's where I want to go when I feel something big. But I think that actually, just because something feels big doesn't necessarily mean that I am being over-dramatic, does it? Yeah, I don't think I was being over-dramatic. It does feel... perhaps not even like I've just experienced it again, honestly, because I didn't... For a lot of the situations in my life, I would literally go through it and then be like, that was shit, gotta focus on this next thing now. I didn't feel anything towards a lot of it, you know? Like, I had the, like, logical awareness of that was a bad thing to go through. That's not something that a lot of people go through, or, like, when people go through that, they talk about it being traumatic. I had that awareness, but it wasn't, like, a feeling that I had. Whereas now I remember things from my past, and I remember like situations that happened and so on, and I feel it this time, you know? It's not like the first time it happened when like I was just like, shit, fuck, on to next thing. Like, I'm actually feeling it now, and it's not just the logical idea of that sucked, it's the actual feeling how much that fucking sucked. And it actually, it's kind of annoying to feel like I'm having to process and work through things that were happening 10 years ago, longer, shorter, like, you know, it's just, ugh. So with all that being said, I filmed my little video today and I will be posting it. I'm not going to be able to edit that today. I had, oh my god, I can't open my jar of pickled red onions. But I had the thought of like, okay, we can't deal with editing that one today. That's fine. We should look after ourselves and take care. And then I was like, well, what do I do? What do I film? Like, I started having all of these other ideas and I was like, I don't think I'm in a position of being regulated enough to be able to edit pretty much anything, honestly, but especially anything else that reminds me of trauma and horrible things that I've been through. And I don't like that there's a whole bunch of like dried onion around the edge of this, but we are just going to have to live with it, I think. I don't know why I didn't just pickle some red onion. I don't know how to pickle things, that would be why. Am I gonna get botulism? That completely derailed my train of thought. Yeah, I'm very used to being able to just pull it out, you know? Like, I've had a variety of times when I've like filmed a video and been like, actually that's a bit much for me to edit today. I just film a different one. I just film like a different topic and it's still a real video and not you watching me put pickled red onion on a bagel with my fingers, you know? And I'm increasingly having moments that I feel quite weak and not very good about myself because the traumas of my past are suddenly like really fucking affecting me in a way that they didn't even fucking affect me at the time, and it feels a bit unfair and it's a bit like, come on, I've already done this, like we've already had to like go through it. What do you mean it's now, years later, that I'm going to be sat here fucking shaking and struggling to regulate myself and feeling like I can't do the thing that I'm trying to like do as a job because of this thing that happened 6 years ago? I think I thought that I'd done a much better job of sort of processing and moving on from things. Like I thought that I had to a level process and thus moved on from things, and it's a bit startling to realise that I actually have not processed shit, and I might have like moved past it because I fucking had to. We didn't deal with it. I keep calling myself we, and I'm sure someone's gonna have something to say about that. But honestly, I think it's because it's the first time in my life that I feel actually quite protective of myself and I want people to be nice to me and I have boundaries around people that aren't. And I don't think that I can really currently at this point in my life do that for me, but I can do it for us, you know? And the us is still just me, but I suppose I'm sort of like including, I think I'm just actually seeing myself as a person, whereas previously I was someone's partner, I was someone's daughter, I was this or this to someone. It didn't matter who I was or what I had going on, it mattered who I was to other people. And it's very much the first time in my life that I care more about who I am to myself than who I am to the people around me. But it's also because it's the first time in my life that I've not got people around me being like, well, you shouldn't do that because you're this to me, so you have to act this way, you know? Like, I think that overall I am doing the best for myself and doing quite well at taking care of myself and addressing the traumas that I have and actually processing and dealing with it. But there is just an unexpected amount of anger that I feel towards the fact that I have to. And there's also a variety of times when I go into things like doing today's video and I think that it's just gonna be the way that it always is, and then I'm shaking and I'm like, oh, this is actually like a lot. It feels like a lot. I don't feel good about it. I don't feel very, like, it's fucked me up a bit. I don't feel at all regulated. I'm gonna eat my food and then I think I'm gonna have a fucking bath in an attempt to make myself feel better, because it just, all of a sudden, this thing that I kind of did think that I was like fairly over, it feels like it happened yesterday. It feels like I'm very much like coping with how it feels to have had it just happen. And I think it's also where, and you know, it's the first time in my life that I can actually sit and focus on it and deal with it and process it, because it's the first time in my life that I'm not like, yeah, it'd be lovely to like be able to like deal with that, but I have to move and I have to do this and I have to deal with this and I'm not going to have a safe place to live and I'm not going to have any money, I'm not going to have this and I need to do this. Like, it's the first time in my whole entire life that I'm not 1,000 levels of stressed about everything. you know? And it's not that everything's dandy, it's not that there's no stress whatsoever, but it's a level of stress and level of things going on where I can still fucking think and still breathe, and it's obviously enough space that I'm having to like process the things that have happened and like deal with myself from the last deal with like all 29 years of being alive and not just the current moment that's happening. And I do find it hard because you see so much from people saying like, oh, you need to live in the present, you need to this and this. And you know, like for the vast majority of the time, I'm really enjoying the present. You know, like I'm meeting people, I'm making friends, I'm building relationships with people, I'm building community, I'm finding community, I'm making things. Like there's a whole host of things in my life that I feel really positive and really happy about and that are going really, really well. And it does sort of make this all the more annoying because I'm like, well, can't it all just be fucking rainbows and daisies and flowers and nice? Like, can't it all just be like that? Do I really have to deal with this now, like, for real? But also, like, didn't have space to deal with it any other time. Of course, it's gonna be now. And it's gonna be big time beneficial to future me, I think. You know? And it's also just the thing of like getting over things and recovering from an abusive relationship and the like isn't gonna be fucking linear. Recovering from having like a neglected fucking childhood, all of the stuff that I've been through. It's the first time that I can really properly process any of it, you know? I'm very, very glad that I addressed things as soon as I did in my life, because I think if I was having to address things now, like like if I was sat here now realising like my parents neglected me. My parents abused me sometimes. My ex-partner was very, very, very abusive for 8 years. Like, if I was sitting here realising that now, that would be a whole fucking time. But also, everything's got to be done at some point. We get to things when we get to them. And I'm deeply not fucking enjoying this. But like I say, I do think it's sort of just part of the path of, like, recovering and healing and dealing with myself. And I think that, in the long run, it's the best thing that I can do for myself. And I think I'm doing really well at finding the balance of, you know, like there's a lot of times that I would have forced myself to just edit the video and I'd be sat there like editing the video or like shaking and crying and having a horrible time. I need to rinse my hands and dry them so I can finish my bagel, I'm sorry. Like being in a position where I am like, yeah, I'm not going to make myself edit the video that's just made me like shake to film. Like I am going to leave that for another day and film something that's a little bit easier and that isn't going to make me like super stressed and feel awful to edit. And then I'm going to go and have a bath and take care of myself and look after myself and watch the things I enjoy watching and maybe do a little bit of art. I feel like I'm really gaining the skills of like looking after myself mentally and allowing myself time to process and being able to sort of offer myself like aftercare and actually take care of myself and not just be like, well, I've processed this thing and now I feel awful. Like actually being able to process it and deal with it and not necessarily like put it away, but like continue to move on with like the fun things in my life and not have it be a major focus that's making me feel terrible, you know? Like I think I am finding some level of balance there. I find balance in life extremely difficult, but I do think that I'm finding balance when it comes to making myself do the difficult things to be able to heal and to be able to feel better in the long run, even if it doesn't make me feel much better right this moment, while also not just fucking delving into that and making myself feel like absolute shit and actually being able to do the things that make me feel better and just generally fucking deal with it and take care of myself. I feel like I'm just using extra words to say what I've already said, and especially after the fucking last video that I filmed, I'm so done with talking today. But very quickly, we're going to finish my bagel. Oh, I don't want to talk about how long this has taken me. This video is going up late. So we've got garlic pepper. Oh, that's a bit much, honestly. That's a bit more than I really intended, but I'm sure it'll be fine. We've got Dino's famous crispy fried onions. Big fan of onion apparently right now. I keep looking in the wrong place and out the right. I'm doing it, okay? I'm doing a video. That's what we've got going for us. Gotta do some crispy onions. I do eat bagels, like open sandwiches. It's one of the very few Scandinavian things about me. I like the odd open thing, okay? I fear that sometimes my inner monologue might actually just be Ray Carling. Like that's a concern that I genuinely have. I'll do the other one after the video. I want this to be done. I'm sorry, okay? I'm here. I've done the video. I didn't manage Sundays. I'm doing my best. We've got some dried stinging nettle seeds. I dried these myself and had to like write my little... I'm happy with it. Just want to do a little sprinkle of these. Apparently they're going to make my brain feel good. And yeah, that will be one side of my bagel. I'm about to do the same to the other side. I'm going to add some extra crispy onions to this side though. I want some more than is on there. I really like my crispy onions, man. I really... Oh, I could eat these bitches like crisps. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to eat my food. I'm going to have a bath. I'm going to try to generally like, take care of myself and be kind to myself and treat myself like a friend and not an enemy. I would recommend that you do the same. I would also recommend that you have a little gander at the link that's going to be in my bio so that my pal Arik might be able to get top surgery before the end of the fucking world. It takes so long to get gender affirming healthcare with the NHS. It's a whole fucking issue. So please do have a little check out, have a little look, have a little donate if you can. It'd be really cool. It's up to you. There's no pressure. You can do whatever the fuck you want, okay? Whoever you are, wherever you are. I hope you have a morning, evening, day, afternoon, week, month, year, and I will most probably see you in a couple of days.